Welcome back, everyone, to another Plate Stack Chat live with me, Jason, and I'm joined, of course, by Sam LaRoche. Unfortunately, we don't have Tom with us today, but we've called in the big guns to replace him. We have Matt Wheels Wielden and John, don't call him O'Connor, CrossFit. Matt and John, how you guys doing?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having us again.
It's all right. Clearly, it's that we have to kick Tom off in order to get you on. So
That's what it is.
You need to speak to him about that. There's obviously some bad blood there.
Well, I did comment earlier that it takes me and John to fill the big shoes that Tom has left.
Yeah, is it the big shoes or the many shoes?
Could be the many shoes. Could be the many.
Yeah, I'll go with many shoes. I think.
I mean, here should be our next Instagram poll. Do you reckon the four of us combined have as many pairs of CrossFit shoes as Tom on his own?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Absolutely. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, I can see 5 just from where I'm sitting, and I'm not sitting where our shoes are kept.
What I can definitely tell you is I have more T-shirts than all of you. That's 100% guaranteed.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's because all the CrossFit T-shirts actually fit you. I would have many more if they fit me.
Yeah, I would have many more if people started ordering the Plate Stack Chat ones, and then I'd probably have a big stack of them ready to just send out. But so if people like the Plate Stack Chat T-shirts, as I think all four of us on this podcast actually have.
You're sporting one right now, I believe.
I'm sporting one right now, yes. But I think Matt and John are both owners of the very few number of T-shirts
we are
in circulation.
Of the privileged few. The privileged few, yes.
I think we're actually 4 of the 5 people who own a Plate Stack Chat T-shirt.
I think Ed's got one as well.
So yep, 6.
Maybe 6.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you want to join this exclusive club, just let us know.
Good
hit
plug,
us up.
Jason. Good
Tell
plug.
us how much you'd be willing to pay for one of these.
That's it.
To rep us.
We're inclusive, like Noble.
Yeah. So if you can afford a Noble T-shirt, you can probably afford 20 of these. You'll be fine.
Well, I can attest to the fact that they fit very well, and they have had a few comments. Positive comments, I should point out. Yeah, positive.
Yeah, make sure you add positive. That's good. If you do want to support the show, you don't have to buy a T-shirt. The fact that we don't actually sell them makes it very difficult for you to do that. But if you want them, let us know. But what you can do is, if you're watching on YouTube, you can like the video. You could subscribe to the channel, would be helpful. If you're listening to it as a podcast, the best way you can help is just by sharing the podcast with other people. So if you know people that like CrossFit, share this. If you know people that kind of a bit into CrossFit, but they just like general chat and fitness, share this. If you've got, I don't know, a mum or someone at home that doesn't know how to turn a podcast off once you press play, share this, and then she'll be forced to listen to it. Or you can also like leave a review or things like that. But actually sharing it is by far the best way you can help us. Or of course, we don't plug it very often, but you could go to our Patreon, and for as little as like £3 a month, you could actually support the show financially as well. And then you get a shout out every episode and stuff like that. There's a few little perks there. So that's another option. Links will all be somewhere. Who knows where?
I guess if we get enough sort of take up on it, we could start like an OnlyFans or something as well, couldn't we? I'm sure everyone would love to see your OnlyFans page, Jace.
Special privileges, yeah.
John O CrossFit doing the Macarena or something on the OnlyFans.
Right, John is looking lost.
He looks lost,
something has happened.
Technical has
He's
happened.
trying to unmute himself. Do you want me to unmute him?
Anyway, while Sam deals with the back,
I can't. He chose to mute himself. Unlucky John O CrossFit.
We'll let him figure it out.
There we go.
There he is.
John, you're back. Can you hear? Oh dear. Now this.
No. You can't hear us. Oh wow. This is the joys of live broadcast, everyone.
Yeah.
Let's put something in the I can't hear you guys. The sound is off.
John, log out, log back in.
Yeah,
we'll keep going. We'll
see you shortly.
Yeah. And if you can't see us, just go to YouTube and watch us there and see what you missed out on. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to comment along. If you're listening after the fact, but you've got comments, just let us know. Shoot us a message and we'll bring it up next time and we'll discuss. So today, kind of two sort of topics that we've got. Basically, the Open is over. Good. So the Open is over. We've discussed that the last couple of weeks. Obviously, some are going into quarterfinals. And I know we have the fittest listeners, so that does mean probably a number of our listeners do care about what's happening at quarterfinals, and they're going to be there. For us on the call, our Open season has begun and ended. I mean, our game season, I should say, has begun and ended. So I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up in quarterfinals, but then I'd kind of like to talk about what we're doing now. So now that the Open is out of the way, how has life shifted back to normal? Is it better than before? Is it more enjoyable to train for yourself than it is to train for the Open? Yes. Spoilers there. Oh, John is saying no.
No, I can actually hear you now as well, which is quite helpful. Yeah.
Right. Did you miss all the t-shirt chat?
You were literally coming through like it was
through the water, underwater.
Yeah, pretty much. So logging out and log back in seemed to help. So I did miss all the t-shirt chats. So sorry for that.
That's right. The classic.
Was that where you promised to send me 5 free t-shirts for plates of chat? Was it?
Yeah.
I actually signed you up to our OnlyFans to do the Macarena wearing no t-shirt.
Well, just any workout night. It'll be standard attire.
Quarterfinals, right. What do we know so far? We've had the equipment list and we've had the floor plan, and we've had a lot of people commenting on it. So open for discussion. Where do you want to start? Floor plan or equipment list? Let's start equipment list. That came out first. Did everybody see the equipment list? Did anything jump out at you on the equipment list?
I think I saw somebody on Instagram wondering where they were going to find their, what's the length of the rope? Yeah, a very long rope. Yeah, because
15-foot climbing rope.
Yeah, the 15-foot climbing rope.
I don't think the climbing rope is as big an issue for people as like how high that is and the height of their box, basically. And like, so where are we going to attach that rope?
Exactly.
Within the box. And then, I mean, and that ties into the floor plan, because if you look at the floor plan, the rope is supposed to be a certain distance from the wall and a certain distance from the wobble targets.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got one spot in your gym that is tall enough to attach that rope, and that doesn't have, which if you think of the shape of a lot of roofs, is probably right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's probably as far away from the walls as you can get.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Well,
it's a challenge.
It says it can be no closer than 8 feet to the wall.
Yeah, it must be a minimum of 8 feet.
Minimum of 8 feet. So it doesn't mean it can't be further. It's not like prescriptive before we say it has to be exactly this amount of distance away. So.
Well, that is true, but I mean, what an advantage you may be giving to your competition if that is the case.
if your rope is like 40 foot away from your wallboard target, like, oh, that seems bad.
It's like in the building next door, because that was the only place tall enough to fix it.
Or outside.
Good luck getting cameras to work that.
Yeah, add in a 200-meter run to where you have to do your rope climb. Yeah,
I had to tie the rope to a tree in the garden.
Say that.
Yeah, a few other things that stood out were obviously a bench. So you need a bench. What's interesting is the bench is on the equipment list, not on the floor plan.
It's not on the floor plan, is it? No.
Yeah, red herring maybe.
I mean, can you imagine if you've gone out and bought a bench? To be told it's a red herring.
Well, but they will have released the equipment list. Well, no, maybe they didn't. I was going to say before they decided what the workouts are, but surely not.
No.
Jace, workout 4 says the bar is in the rack. So I wonder if they've just forgot to put the bench in that.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at it as well, I thought that's got to be the case, right? Because it doesn't look like it would fit anywhere else as well when you look at the other floor plans.
So I'm right in saying that the bench press has been in the games but not in the Open. Yes. Yeah.
Well, you could. So you wouldn't necessarily, if the floor plan, the bench doesn't have to be on the floor plan though, right? Because then they might not have a set place you put the bench because that's where you're going to end up putting the bench.
True. It's not.
But
It's
they
not.
say that you have to have the rack there and the
Yeah.
bar on the rack,
But it's not a
you might
specific location for the bench.
not
Yeah.
a floor plan. No.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Because there's two on the rack. There are two camera. If you look at the camera, I mean, we're on it now as well. But if you look at WOD 1 has got two cameras, 2 has got two cameras, 3 has got two cameras, 4 has got two cameras, but 5 only has one camera.
But if you notice, the second camera is always optional.
Yes.
So, I mean,
it's like a little puzzle. Yeah.
So it's interesting because when I was thinking, like, you've done the Open, that was stressful enough, like, and now you've gone into quarterfinals, and it's not that the workouts are stressful in themselves doing the workout. It's like all of this beforehand, sort of setting yourself up ready to do the workout, seems to be more stressful than probably taking them on.
I mean, one of the things that I thought when I saw all of this was the obvious leap from the first 3 workouts into the quarterfinals. And I think there's a lot of people who participated in what was a more inclusive first 3 workouts and have made it through to quarterfinals because they're strong, they have a good engine. Some of these people, this looks like there's going to be some very high skill movements in this. It's going to really throw a lot of those people who've made it through to quarterfinals.
Well,
and I understand the separator mentality, but I mean, I'm talking about deficit handstand push-ups and climbing a rope even.
And deficit handstand push-ups is workout 1.
Yeah,
like you talk about ramping it up. So we haven't had handstand push-ups in the last 2 years of the Open.
Yeah,
and then now, and it's been
but
walks both times.
last year there was some people at semi-finals who couldn't do ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
So, like, surely you have to have, like, if imagine someone got to semi-finals and couldn't do a handstand push-up.
Well, I mean, that's my point.
Imagine how ridiculous that would be.
But it's an interesting jump, isn't it? From like, so if you look at, I mean, even if you look at the end of the Open, they had like pull-ups, chest to bars, bar muscle-ups, and it's like a little progression there, isn't it? And it's kind of like, where are you on this ladder? But now you're going from wall walks to deficit handstand push-ups, which is like a massive. You look at people training. Like I've look at people that I think I know some people that have kind of probably made it through to quarterfinals, and I've seen their training over the last year or so or whatever, and I've seen them like doing handstand push-ups and kind of getting down to just having one mat under the head or something like that, or one plate or whatever it is, and it's like the difference between having even like a 5 kilo plate and then the floor is it's just massive.
Yeah,
the idea of adding a tiny bit of deficit is like. It's just so different. It's just so much harder.
Have you ever? We're not sponsored by Amazon. Do we wish we were? No, we weren't. We don't. But when you search for something on Amazon, and then there's like loads of results, and then you click Prime, and there's considerably less results, and then you click 4-star, and then it's like, whoo, there are only like 10 things you can buy. It's like, well, there you go. That's essentially what this is doing to the Open. It's like. Now you're Prime. Okay, that's going to take it down quite a bit. And now we'll add in maybe a 4-star rating, 3.5. And then that's just sort of.
I mean, I think I get the point. They have to have those separator movements, those things that are going to differentiate between, I've just made it to quarterfinals and the true challenges, for the semi-finals. I just think that maybe they could have graduated that a bit more through those first 3 workouts to leading into the quarterfinals, because I think there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be plenty of people who can do these things, but there's going to be a lot of people who are literally going to not be able to. I suppose it depends how they put the workout together, doesn't it? Where are those deficit handstand push-ups? Are they at the beginning?
On the back of that, then, Matt, there's a second box that says athlete start. So is this not a progression like the pull-ups, chest to bars, muscle ups?
Yeah,
is this not a normal handstand push-up first?
That's
maybe progressing to strict, and then maybe progressing to a deficit, like a 21-15-9 or something. With
good shout. Yeah,
it's not normal handstand, because I can't do a handstand push, but like regular handstand push. But then the separator comes in like round 3 for the 9 or whatever.
See, if they take that approach, then that works, doesn't it? So maybe we're just jumping the gun a bit, and that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, which is why I don't want to spend too much time talking about all of this, because as you said, it's stuff we just
It's
can't
very
know.
subjective,
But,
isn't it? Yeah.
No, but it's more engaged. This is more engaging than just trying to guess what an open workout is, though, right? Because at least you have like the frame of
Hints,
what it
yeah.
might be. Like it's like, oh yeah, I think it's going to be, I don't know, burpee broad jumps and backflips. You know, I mean, it could. I guess it could be. There's enough room for a burpee broad jump there, but I can't imagine it will be.
So our good friend Coach Kat has just jumped in the comments asking where's the bench. So
Yeah.
we did mention that was first thing, Kat. We mentioned that first thing. And not going to lie, the reason I mentioned it first is because I saw your comment on the game's post.
Said, I've just been out and bought a bench for this. No, I imagine that wasn't it.
Yeah. So, but yes,
But we were saying, sorry, Kat, we were saying that the bench doesn't necessarily have to be on a floor plan. So if these are the floor plans, then your bench might not be on the floor plan. That might come in between the racks somewhere. So it might be a bench press.
It's a given that it will be
you
there.
will need a bench somewhere in between the rack, but you might.
I do find it strange though. I because like that. Saying like it's a given, but then absolutely everything else, even of like, here's where the wall should be, here's where a rope should, here's where this should be, here's where like it just seems odd that they are so like
prescriptive,
detail oriented on everything else, and then it's like, and here's one piece of equipment you can just randomly put, as Kat has just said, on the ceiling. So, but
Kat, I think if you can get the bench on the ceiling, you should definitely be in semi-finals.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
again, this podcast is not sponsored by No More Nails, but if it was,
I do think looking at the equipment list as well, because there was just I you know when like in your mind you have that little conversation with your no, probably you don't. This is crazy. I'm
I
absolutely
do. I
mental.
often
We're gonna
have
have a little
conversation with myself.
Always
But
in my head.
I was looking at the comments, and particularly about the dumbbell. This was something a lot of people were talking about, the dumbbell, because the weight is in pounds. When you can, so it should be something like, I think it should be 31 kilos, or like 31.8 kilos, something like that. So it's, oh, do we do 30? No, you've got to go up. Well, you can't really get a 32. It's generally a 32.5. So, you know, we're having to go heavier, and that's not fair. And then I was like playing this through my mind, and I was thinking, yeah, that's true. But actually, if that's like a European problem, is that you've got to do 32.5, it doesn't matter then, because that's a problem for everyone in Europe.
You're only qualifying for Europe, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I thought about the fact that it's based on your nationality and not where you live, meaning that there are going to be people that are of a nationality, live like, you know, training in America, for example, but they're English and they get to use the slightly lighter dumbbells. But if they qualified, they would go to a quarterfinal in, like they'd go to SID or something like that, a semi-final, like SID or something. So maybe it matters, but the percentage of people it matters for is very small.
So I watched Mal O'Brien's 22.3 video, in which he very clearly uses a 15 kilo barbell and 15-pound plates, which means she actually did 63 pounds, 73 pounds, and 83 pounds. Now, it is written in the rules that Americans are allowed to accept that the 15 kilo bar is 35, even though it isn't, and the 20 kilo bar is 45, even though it isn't. So it does seem like this is something that is kind of out there, because I looked at it and went, that's only 63 pounds, that's not right. Put it on a CrossFit judges group I'm on social media, let's put it that way, because they're not sponsoring us either. And I got absolutely torn to bits. Yeah, it's always been 15 is 35. I was like, no, I know how to multiply 15 by 2.2. That's not 35, it's 33. So Mal O'Brien's open winning time was 2 pounds lighter than every athlete. And every North American athlete who uses pound plates did 2 pounds lighter.
We've got a guy calling Mal O'Brien out live on our show.
I'm not calling Mal O'Brien.
That was you who said
she didn't break the rules.
She didn't break the rules, but
the rules aren't covering that scenario.
Yes, Kat, that was me. You might have been one of the ladies who replied to me on the Facebook group. But yeah, I just thought that, you know, it's it's now a sport that has more boxes outside of North America than inside North America, but that sort of North American bias does still exist.
And in all seriousness, when you're talking about the elite level, those small
Oh yeah,
margins make a massive difference, don't they?
They really do.
it's all,
'Cause
it's
it's
all
a
about
second
those
here, a
small
second
margins,
there.
isn't it? That's what makes an elite athlete elite, right?
Exactly.
And they're not doing themselves any favors, because remember, because when you get like, if you get through all of this and you get to a semi-final, or you get to the games, then the bar and the weights or whatever they are going to be equal for everyone, and they're going to be as prescribed. So it goes back to like when we were talking about movement standards, when we had Bosman on, and we were saying like, why are you making training easier than the competition? Like, you should train, your training should be harder, so then when you compete it's easier, instead of doing it the other way around. So Kat's jumped on with her
Kat.
final comment, but
It's
she
what
didn't
Kat
reply
needs
to
do.
John's comment. She sat back and ate her popcorn and observed. So
That is funny. That is funny though, right? Because it's not funny. It's not funny, Mal O'Brien. You cheat. Yeah, that's right.
Just so we're really
That's right.
clear, I didn't say that.
No. I wonder what Ricky Garrard used.
Oh my God.
A stand-up
PVC
guy.
pipe with a couple of those big
put
2.5 training plates on them.
Put your can of worms away, Sam.
so you
No,
notice
it is-
that Tom's
it is one of
not
those
here,
things though, isn't
and
it?
chaos
It all goes
reigns.
chaos, yeah. No, but it is true though. If 15 kilos is not the right weight, it's not the right weight. Like, you can't. But do they
can't do
do
it
the what? Do
inventive
they
maths.
only do 15 and 20 kilo bars? They don't do it in They don't do bars in pounds.
Rogue do
I don't
pound
know.
bars. No, we're not sponsored by them either, but Rogue do sell their bars in pounds. So they do a 35 and a 45. But it's written in the standard if you're using a 15 kilo bar that you can accept it's 35 pounds.
Right, but it's actually not. Obviously,
Well, no, it's not. It's 33.
No. But hey, that's the point, isn't it? The rules have been written. We can debate the rules, but they haven't broken the rules.
no, you're right. So she's
No,
not a cheat.
it's just-
Mal, I take it back. You're not a cheat. You're just
cheat.
playing to the
The letter of the letter of the rules.
The letter of the rules, not the spirit of the rules.
You're just being trained by one of the most analytical minds in all of
Yeah.
CrossFit, who has probably perfected these things, and now and what is it Fraser said? He's creating a weapon. I think that was his wording about
Mate,
training Mal.
she is a weapon. She's
Yeah.
an absolute weapon. Kat's coming again with, I predict next year £1 plates will be part of the open equipment list.
Not in Europe, they won't.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be happy with that as long as it's £1 thrusters.
just Jace doing like a £1 thruster with one arm.
That'd be great. Yeah. Because as we've said, I'm not the strong athlete that you think I am. Right.
I think you're a stronger athlete than you think you are.
I think you've been a very strong athlete this week. It's been an impressive week.
It's been an impressive week. Let's talk about that. Let's
talk about your PBs.
Let's get out of talking about stuff that really doesn't matter to me, because I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed training so much since the Open. And it's been going so well. And I literally said to one of the coaches the other day, it's almost like the Open just got in the way. It just got in the way of my training, and it's gone now. And it's like, oh, it's so nice to just focus again on what I'm doing.
So for me, I think that when the Open reduced from the 5 weeks to the 3 weeks, I think initially there was a lot of discussion around, oh, I'm not getting what I used to pay for, and I'm disappointed, and I want to have more of it. But I used to find that 5 weeks was 6 weeks of chaos and sort of disruptive to the training. So I think that the 3 weeks is probably for your average CrossFit athlete in the box is probably about right, because it's enough to get you engaged with the competition, but not so disruptive that it throws you off your training for a significant amount of time.
It's funny that though, isn't it? That the Open, that the qualification to get to what could be perceived as a regional is over 3 weeks plus a week, or plus 2 weeks actually. So I mean, technically, that's the Open is 5 weeks for people that are going.
It is, and I think
that are doing, but I'm sort of agreeing with you that the idea of having this bit that everybody does because essentially what I found with it is community building. Our gym has never been as buzzing as it was in the last 3 weeks. It has been amazing. Everyone's been talking about it. Everyone's been sort of getting, even if people weren't part, didn't sign up for the Open or whatever, they were still doing the workouts and they were still loving it. And, and there was still that chat of, why am I doing this, throughout the week? Like, obviously the Opens, we don't do the Open workouts after a Monday. So between Tuesday to Thursday, everyone's like, why are we doing these hardcore workouts? Like, I'm going to have to do another hardcore workout in 2 days' time.
But I think that 3 weeks allows that energy to be so much more infectious. I think, that I found that over 5 weeks, you'd lose a lot of people, because for some people to sustain that energy over that 5 weeks was very difficult. So it became a bit of a slog towards the end, and more of a relief when you finished. Whereas I felt that, to give a shout out to CrossFit RTV, it was my first Open. I'm still a member of CrossFit Stags and Does, and I love that box, and I'll always be a big part of that. But I decided for a change, to change things up, to go to the CrossFit RTV, and their competition, their team competition, involved not just the workouts, but points for social media banter. So I was more exhausted from the amount of social media banter that I had to engage in to score points for my team. So
you know what, Matt, you were all over it, because I just
certainly were.
So this is my opportunity to apologize for all the people I spammed to death with my social media posts over that time, but they were valuable points for my Open team. So that was part of what they put in place, along with loads of fun activities and the usual community building stuff that we're all party to in our respective boxes. And I think that over that 3 week period, it really allows that to be a more successful thing and more inclusive, definitely.
Yeah, 5 weeks of those posts would not have been sustainable.
No, not in a million years. No.
I think
you'd have been banned from
Matt being
Facebook and
found somewhere in
Instagram.
a ditch or something. Yeah,
I think there would have been some serious fallings out across the community, to be honest. So,
yeah, no, I mean, let's be honest. I've been fairly critical of CrossFit, of CrossFit HQ. I know I can put my hand up and say, yeah, occasionally I disagree with some of their decisions, but changing the Open from 5 weeks to 3 weeks was one of the best things they ever did. Like that, absolutely agree with that. And and then with the inclusion of the quarterfinals before you get to the semi, that would be what was regionals or sanctionals or whatever. They've actually done more tests before that, so it's even a better quality of athlete theoretically should be progressing on to those events, because the way the quarterfinals works with multiple tests in a short period of time means you're seeing athletes that can work. They don't have time to redo the workout 3 or 4 times. It's going to be one and done, and maybe they can repeat one of them if they've got the energy, but it simulates a competition much more closely, so that kind of you feel more like the right people are going to progress on. So on the competitive side, that kind of road to the games, it ticks the boxes, and then on the community side, it also ticks the boxes even better, because it's not just like, oh, the workouts are really hard. It's also like, okay, well, what are you programming for your classes from Tuesday to Thursday, because you don't know what's going to happen on Friday. So don't want to program. I heard people being like, oh, we did loads of deadlifts on Wednesday, and then Friday they announced it was all these deadlifts. So you're like, yeah, probably if you'd known, you wouldn't have done that, right? So it's kind of, yes, you sell yourself in the workout, so you've got a couple of days where you're still feeling the last one, but you also don't know what you need to be preparing yourself for the next one. So you're a bit apprehensive with how you should train maybe Wednesday, Thursday. 3 weeks, it's okay. It's kind of like a little interruption to your training, and then you get back on it. 5 weeks was just, it was too long. It was just too long. But we're back to training correctly, properly, following our cycles.
Just on the back of that, Jason, the community piece, because this is the first time that in the box I go to have been able to do the Open live, because they opened in January 2020. Lockdown hit March 2020. So this is the first time we've ever done Open workouts on a Friday night lights type thing. So
I'm reading that as potentially they were the cause of lockdowns, but fair enough.
Pretty much, the 2 box owners opening up my box. Yeah, it was all their fault. Yeah. No, but people at the start were like, why would I sign up for the Open? I'm going to do the workouts anyway. What difference does it make? It's like, yeah, but it's different. And you can't really explain it to people about why you pay CrossFit that $20.
It's like,
And
Well, I
But
am
you can- but
assuming
you
what you
can,
did,
though.
John, was you sent them a link to the episode we did with Ben and from Wad Prep and Adrian Bosman, and we're like,
yes,
this
I
is
did.
why you should sign up to the Open. They covered it really well.
Absolutely.
well,
Good,
And-
good.
but since that
also-
though, go on. Sorry, John.
Oh, God, I was going to say, everyone gets wins in the Open. Doesn't matter where you finish, everybody gets a win. My first pull-up was in the Open. My first 80 kilo plus clean and jerk was in the Open. You know, and some years back, I probably couldn't do it now. But you know, it's you know, my first chest to bar was in 22.3. There are always wins in the Open, always, and that's what you do for you. It gives you that competitive aspect to training. It's the best $20 I spend every year, and I do spend it every year since I've fell in love with doing the Open. We have disagreed before, Jace, about it being 3 weeks instead of 5. I think probably 4 would be nice. You know, for me, it was just the community coming around, the community understanding what the Open means to the wider CrossFit world, because it was the first time we could do it in a box, in our box, and to create that community. So people then saw what it was like for your workout to matter, and not just bragging rights on an app that we all put our scores in every day. That's, you know, this was properly important. How did you finish across the world? How did you finish in Europe? How did you finish in the UK? You know, and that really drove home for me why we do the Open every year, and why I even did the equipment free one last year, which was awful. I hated every second of it, but I still did it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
I
hard.
finished 255th in the world, but that's probably because there's only about 400 people that signed up. So
I quite like that. I quite like that, though, John, because when you look at the history of my positions in the Open, there's
Yeah.
2021, I'm like 57th, and it doesn't qualify what that 57th was in. So I'm
No,
just
it
leaving it
doesn't.
there.
2022, I'm like 89,000. It's like, God, I've had a bad year of training.
It's just gone downhill. Yeah.
God, mental.
See,
Uh,
oh no, did you have something you wanted to say? Sam?
Yeah, just
Sorry.
just the whole idea of, because we kind of covered it with Ben and with Boz, but I've been thinking about it a lot since then, and it's like, why would I pay for a park run when I can just go run on the street? Why would I pay to go to the cinema
Yeah,
when
that's
I
a
could
good
just watch it
analogy,
on
yeah.
when I could just watch it on DVD,
Yeah.
or you know, or I can just
It's
buy
the
it from a guy
experience.
in the pub, or exactly. It's like you can't, and that's why you can't explain why you should sign up for the Open, because you don't know until you've done it. Like, you know, and it's not about being a sheep, is it? Because I didn't sign up for the Open just because a bunch of other people signed up for the Open. I signed up for it because I train at a CrossFit gym, and that is the one test of fitness that everybody can do all at the same time and be comparative within it.
And I think
there
you've
are
hit
no
the-
other options of that, you know.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Sam. It's the same mindset of why do you run in a marathon? You know, in a marathon you have everybody from the guy in the fancy dress right through to the guy who breaks the world record or whatever it might be, but they're all part of that event. They're all part of that experience, whatever they're doing. And the Open is the same, as you say, whether you're getting your first chest to bar or you're pushing for a semi-final spot. It's everybody's in the same, having the same experience.
So
Here we go.
yeah. Well, because you were saying,
Glad the three of us agree. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason, on to you. Yeah.
so I was thinking about, I was listening, John. I was listening to what you said. First of all, 4 weeks, get out. It's
Agree.
interesting what you were saying, because you're like the joy you get, and I mean, first of all, the best $20 you spend a year. We're going to need to talk about this off pod. I mean, or maybe you just need to buy more Plate Stack Chat t-shirts, because that would probably come up to $20, and that would surely be the best.
I don't pay for them in dollars, Jace. So it's the best $20 I spend.
It's
is
the only
such a-
$20 he spends.
Apart from the
clever.
judges course, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I guess, because you're saying about like the joy you get from it and from doing it, and I do agree, and I think when you complete a workout, there's a great sense of accomplishment and like having that comparison to other people. And oh, Rob, I really hope you're listening, and finishing one place above Rob in the Bath leaderboard. I mean, yes, that was tremendously joyful.
Was that not worth your $20, Jace?
I mean, absolutely, that was worth it. Yeah, but I think I had more joy in like the recent like PBs I hit. I think that brought me more joy than anything in the open. But then I was thinking about what you were saying, John, and I have to be honest here. I've never had like a first in the open. Do you know what I mean, there's never been a move. So the only think the only thing that's been like the first for me to do in the open would be maybe be like to use the 22.5 dumbbell. But that's different. That's more like a choice of,
But
oh, I
that's
didn't choose to use that in a workout because it was heavier than I'd want to go. It wasn't like a, oh, I don't know if I can pick this up kind of thing. But whenever there's been movements there, like I've always been able to do them probably better in training than, like I could already do a bar muscle up, or I could already do I don't know, chest to bar pull-ups, and then movements that like now I'm doing well at with like strength numbers, I've always struggled with in the open because like, we had that one where you did the clean, but before you do the clean, you had to do was it like dumbbell squats
dumbbell
and
squats
burpees over the bar,
yeah.
and then I get to do a clean. Guess what? Did not PB my clean
Now
after doing that.
That's one of my favorite open memories. I did PB my power clean that day. Yeah. So it's just,
but that's
everyone will have a
something
memory.
about that says something about the sort of person you are, though, Jace, because you're the sort of person. No, but you are the sort of person who will train so freaking hard that when it comes to a competition, you can do the thing that you need to do, and you won't do the competition until you know you can do the thing that you need to do. Right? I don't think that's unfair.
Yeah.
Like I think that is actually how you are.
Well, it's funny you should say
And
that.
that's
Sam.
fine. Like,
It's funny you should say that because
I feel like
why not break this as a Plate Stack Chat exclusive? The man who does not compete will be competing.
what the freak?
Yeah.
What?
So
Where
Have you got
I-
a place
tell
in
us.
quarterfinals?
Yeah, kept that
Yeah,
quiet.
semis, mate. He's coming to. He's
Yeah.
going lowlands.
No, I just spoke to Ollie and I was like, is there any way I could just bypass semi-finals and just go to Sid?
It's not what you know.
I am the Euro-
Yeah.
I am the European Emperor. I shall make it so.
I'm the wild card. I said, do you know like how Hunter got a wild card for the games? Can I just get a wild card for Sid? No, there is a charity throwdown, Jack's Journey. It's a member at the
it's,
bridge.
April in Bath, yeah.
Yes. And so it's going to be, so basically this is what's happened. It's 5 minutes walk from my house. It's a pairs comp. Jake got onto me straight away and was like, you have to do it. You have to do it. It's for charity. Theoretically, I should be recording an episode of the podcast with Shax and Jack's dad to kind of talk about what the charity's for and why. So it'd be very hard for me to hear all of that and then be like, and of course, there's no way I will be doing this. So
Because I don't compete.
So I am doing it. And foolishly, we're doing the RX. There's RX and scaled, and we're doing the RX. And I had the movement list, and it's all fine. It's like burpees, pull-ups. I think it was something like a 40 kilo power clean, 30 kilo full clean. It's nothing on that list that worries me, apart from one thing, and that
here we go.
was the snatch weight that you need to be able to hit is 60 kilos. And I was like, Jake, what's your 1 rep max snatch? And he was like, my power snatch is 60. I was like, great. My 1 rep max snatch was previously 63 kilos. So that's really borderline.
You've PB'd this week, haven't you?
Which I
You got
have increased
65.
today to 65. So
We're
pretty happy with that.
We're tied on that now. Jace.
We
That's
tied
the
on that
one-
now.
You've exceeded me in everything else, but that one I'm hanging
I
on.
mean,
there.
my 1 rep on power snatch is 70, but I can't squat snatch anything over 30 kilos.
Those knees, is it, John? Those old knees.
It really is.
Yeah.
Really is, Matt.
Yeah.
My muscle snatch is 70 kilos, and I can't do anything else.
Muscles.
Literally, I'm not even. I will take a video and I will show you
That's all my
exactly what it
movements,
looks
Sam.
like.
All muscles, yeah.
But but that was like really in my head. So I think 2 weeks ago we had to try and hit 95%. So I hit like 60 twice, and I was like, okay, that's a good sign. And then today I struggled more with 60 than the 65, to be honest with you. I think I failed 60 about 3 times. Then I hit it, and we had 1 lift left. So I was like, right, here we go.
I think
It's now or never.
So this is literally your first competition, Jace, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how you how the experience boosts your performance, maybe potentially, because I have
Or
found
makes
that,
it worse, Matt. Or makes it
well,
worse. Let's
I
not.
was trying to be positive, but it can go to one of two ways, clearly. But if it can put you off, and you get a little bit intimidated by the environment, but most people will get the buzz of that competition, and you'd be surprised. You might find that you exceed your expectations in that weight and rep out more than you expect. So
on top of that as well, Matt, let's remember that 2.5 minutes ago, Jay said, "You know how happy I was? I finished one place above Rob."
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when he says he doesn't compete and he's not competitive, that's absolute nonsense.
It is nonsense. It is
It is
nonsense.
all about bragging rights, and what he's trying to do is set us up. Oh no, I don't really care about competing. Oh, I came second, aren't I?
Yeah, and actually, the time that I trained together with John, we did a repeat of an open workout.
We did.
And I'll tell you what, I needed to beat him in that workout. That was.
Well, it's funny because I think it's generally it's really good fun when you have somebody who's quite well matched to you, and you have that rivalry, because you can literally stay in your lane competitively, but enjoy the competition of the two of you. And Ed, our good friend Ed Stowe, we used to do a row versus bow thing, stow versus wheels for the Open. That was our thing that we did each year, and we were always extremely well matched. And he popped down to see me do 22.2 at RTV this Open, and he was in his casuals, came down, judged me, no repped me, and
Well,
and
the
then
standard is the standard.
the standard is a standard, and I respected his no rep. It was no, I swore at him, but it was no problem. And as soon as I'd finished, he just couldn't help him. He was in the car. He borrowed some shorts. He came in and he was straight on that floor going, right, let's do this. And he got on and did 22.2. It was only at the end, after he caught his breath, I pointed out he'd missed my score by 1 rep. So,
redo.
And it's well,
I bet he did as well.
No. To be fair to Ed, he didn't partake this year in the Open, apart from that. But any other year, we'd have been having a redo. But with good spirit, because we've both beaten each other by those small margins, and those are the things that drive you on to do a little bit better. So I think it's always good fun to have that competitive element.
It's natural to happen, that, Matt. Like Jason even called out, I think, that Tom was barely ahead of me at 22.2, and I messaged Jay saying, I have literally been chasing that boy down since 22.1 and haven't told anybody, right? Because you do. And it's, I go and train with the 7:30 crew Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we do a Saturday workout, right? And there are guys there that I know on cardio will leave me for dust, so I'm trying to catch them. And there's guys that I know when it comes to like a heavy barbell, like a 70 plus clean or jerk or that kind of thing, that I'm stronger than them, so I'm trying to stay ahead. And we naturally do this every time we walk in the gym. We're not competing with them, just making sure we're keeping that distance. Or if the guy's better at cardio than me, I beat one of my friends on a cardio workout a couple of weeks ago, and I was absolutely delighted. In his defense, he'd just come back from having COVID. It was like his second session back.
It's a nice little leveler. Yeah.
But I still beat him on the cardio workout, and I was like, do you know how happy that makes me? Even though I know he's working like a quarter of a lung or whatever it is. I said, welcome to my world. I'm asthmatic. I don't have 2 lungs anyway. So just like, but we all naturally do that in the box. We look at a guy and go, he lifted 10 kilos more than me last week. I'm going to see how close I can get. Or he lifted within 10 kilos of me last week. I'm going to see if I can drive that out a bit.
The worst thing, so I had like the worst thing happen to me yesterday. So the workout we did, what did we do first? We did there was a hang power clean, and it was an EMOM. It was supposed to be a hang power clean, but I did it wrong basically. But then,
you weren't listening, were you, Sam?
No, I was listening. I've no idea. It was supposed to be like
I was listening. I just thought I knew better.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know why I did it wrong, but I did, and I did it wrong, so it made it harder. And then we had a workout 4 time, 45 thrusters, RX at 60, and then 45 box jumps, RX. Oh, there we go. 8-minute EMOM, 75%. Connor was on it. Connor had it. Sorry, Connor's in the chat. There we go. That's what it was. It was an 8-minute EMOM, 75%. Okay. And then it was 45 thrusters at 60 RX and 45 box jumps. Box jumps at 30 inch. Oh, it's Claire. There's Claire. Sorry, it's Claire in the game tonight. Hi, Claire. And that's Coach Claire from Bearwarden. She's a ledge. One of the Coach Claires from Bearwarden, actually, now. Cheeky. But I was setting my bar up. I was like, I've got no business RX in this workout. This is not an open workout. It's not that accessible. We're doing. I'm going to bang 40 on. That's fine. I should be able to do that in some way, shape, or form. 40, maybe that'll be okay. And so I set my bar up. I was like, again, no business doing 30-inch box jumps. Not a chance. I'll do 24. That'll be okay. And then the coach went 10 seconds. I looked around. All the other blokes in the room have got maximum 20 kilos on the bar. Like maximum 30 kilo bar. I'm like, what am I doing here? Well, like, this is going to be so bad. I clearly, obviously, just hadn't. The first part wasn't even listening. Obviously, didn't do it right. And then the second part, I was like, what am I even doing here? To be fair, I finished it. The coach was like, yeah, you want it to feel a bit like Fran. I was like, okay. I can't even do Fran.
Yeah, I don't want anything to feel like Fran.
No. So he was like, it needs to feel like Fran. So I was like, right, I'll whatever. I'll chuck 40 on. I finished in 10 minutes 20. I thought I broke it up pretty well, actually. I did 15, 10, 8, 7, 5. Which is that right? That is right, isn't it?
Yes, it is right. Yeah.
15, 10, 8, 7, 5, which is how I broke it up. They were like, yeah, you need to be able to thruster it like unbroken 10 times. I was like, I can do 40 10 times, easy. Maybe not 45 times. Man, I was in a dark place after that. But that's like, it's one of those things where you just, you instantly get competitive. It's like, I know everyone else around me is going to be doing this, so I'm definitely going to be doing this. And then it was like, no one else around me is doing this. And I've just buried myself in a workout that I have no business doing this.
All the time, Sam. Someone will put 40 kilos in the bar and I go, that's what I was going to do. And now I can't. Thanks very much.
Yeah. It's when this is a real like toxic masculinity thing of mine.
Oh yeah.
But I will go to. We've got a whole like. Obviously, I don't know what your gym's like, but we've got like all of our dumbbells, like the 5s, the 7.5s, the 10s, the 14s, the 15s on that side of the room, and then like the big boy weights over like the other side of the room, so like the 20s, the 22.5s, the 30s, the 40s, the 60s, or whatever there are dumbbells. So, when you're gonna go and do like a dumbbell workout, you're like casually walking over to a 10, and then like the little lady in the class walks over and picks up a set of 10s. You're like,
yeah,
turn around.
It's always on the shoulder, isn't it? The ego is landing on your
absolutely.
shoulder.
That's such a toxic thing.
Is it although is it toxic or does it help?
It's not.
Because
it helps
Friday,
you're training better than you should.
Yeah, Friday, Jake, my team partner, Jake, came down from the bridge, so we'll do a training session together. So we did the class, and we had to do our 1 rep max push press, and so we both hit like 75. Then I jumped to 80, and I failed, and then we went down to 77.5. We both hit that. I failed 80 again. I think I may have even failed it one more time before he even attempted it. And then, I think then he failed it, but then he hit it. And the moment he hit it, well, there was no way we were going to end without me hitting that. So I managed to PB my push press on Friday, which was nice. That was the one of 3 over the last 7 days. But I
80 kilos, Chase.
Yeah, so I'm currently sitting at my 70 kilo weight. But like, this is the stupid thing as well, of you talk about people pushing you. So we did 80 kilo 1 rep max. We're very happy with that. 10 kilos over body weight for push press. I'm pretty pleased with that. Monday we did back squat. So hit my new
That's
You
a
know,
great. I'm so jealous of that one,
well,
Jace.
125. You like that, did you, Matt?
Man, you're killing me. We matched each other, didn't we, about 6 months ago, or maybe
Yeah.
no, last summer it was, and that's a massive leap. I'm very jealous of that.
Thank you. Do you know what? When I posted it, I was thinking of you.
Yeah, I know you were. I know because we were talking about it last summer, weren't we? Like, oh,
And he tagged you in it as well, just to make sure you saw
Didn't
it.
go that far, to be fair.
It's like when your football team. It's like when you and your mate's football team play each other, and you just send a blank text message. You don't have to write anything. It's
subliminal.
just there.
It was
Yeah,
out
it's just there.
So then I knew that Wednesday morning I was going to go in and try and PB my snatch. But Tuesday night, so I do 8 p.m. on Tuesday, but then I go and do the 10:30 in the morning on Wednesday. We had a complex of 2 push press, 3 push jerk. And I was going in like, go light. Make sure you go light because tomorrow morning you are gonna need to go. And I just partnered up with the wrong people, and we ended up finishing on 70. So if we're following the story so far, that's only so if my 1 rep max is 80, and then I had to do 2 push press followed by 3 push jerks, and I hit them at 70.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Went in this morning, my arms felt like 2 like lead weights just hanging down by my
But
side.
that's still a toxic thing to happen, because realistically, like going back to the dumbbells, realistically, I've no business walking across the other side of the room and trying to do a dumbbell thruster workout with 20 kilos. Like, it's just not the stimulus of the workout whatsoever. Like, I could either get over myself, drop the toxicity, go pick up the 10 kilos and do a workout, as intended, or I can think, well, if that woman's doing it with 10s, I must be doing it with 20s. Walk over there and look at a set of dumbbells for 5 minutes. Like,
I think Sam, it can be a force for good or a force for bad.
Yes, certainly.
I think it depends on the circumstance and the context.
Yeah, and also like if is it a case of you were kind of phoning it in, and then you're pushed to kind of do what really you should have done, or is it? Or is it like
that's the key. It depends which one it is. Is it you were
taking
it easy?
Pushed? Are you being supported?
Yeah, because I'll say like today, hit that 1 rep max on the snatch, but then when we did the part B, that was like 7 power snatches and double unders, and it was like 5 rounds. Oh, absolutely! I went women's RX on that because
I mean,
I was not going to do the other weight.
I certainly think age makes you a little more sensible, and the more broken you are, John. No, okay, maybe it's just me, but I do see people, as we all probably do, and this is sort of backing up what you're saying, Sam, where people are clearly, their movement is terrible. They're not performing it efficiently or effectively, and they're struggling through these reps on this particular weight. And I'm looking, you look at them and if they drop that weight down, the quality would be better, the benefit would be better, they would be less broken probably at the end of it. So there are examples where it does work the other way, but I understand.
And if you're doing a 1RM though, right? Like, so if we were in a class and they said, right, we're going to work on our 1RM back squat, I'm going to go with someone. I'm going to deliberately go with someone who is going to push me. I'm not going to go with someone who lifts 50 kg less than me, because I'll end up lifting less than I want to.
Yeah.
Whereas if I know someone's going to be hitting maybe 2 or 3 kilos, 5 kilos more than me, I'm going to be trying to do what they're doing. Right?
Equally in a partner WOD, you try and find somebody who is same or better than you. Who will push you, because you feel obligated to then push yourself and perform for the partner.
Would you like to know another interesting motivation I had to PB on each of these occasions?
Is it your internal monologue?
Not my internal monologue, but you're not far off, because
you offered free coffee.
No.
Is it because you knew you could talk about it on the podcast?
I mean, there is that. There is that. It was because actually I always train after Rochelle. So like if I do the 10:30 class, she does the 9:30, and the days that I train at 8, she's coming at 4.
So you want to make sure you've smashed your wife in a workout?
No. She PB'd every time I PB'd. She also got a PB. So like,
and obviously bragging rights. Is that the only reason you've done it? Is
no. Obviously our numbers were different, but the point was like I was really telling her, because I kind of knew she could PB on all of those things. So I was really like, look, you've got to go for it, go after these numbers, and like. But I mean, she had like 2 months. She couldn't even air squat. Like she had a problem with her knee. It was just painful. She couldn't air squat. Not sponsored. I'll do one of her. Oh, we're not sponsored by them. She's been doing a lot of map online. She's been really looking after her knee, and she hit like 90 kilos on the back squat. So
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh,
Well
I
done
saw
her.
the video. I saw the video.
Yeah.
You posted
Yeah.
it, didn't you? Yeah.
So
nice depth as well. Really good.
yeah, I've got her. And then today she PB'd a snatch, and on what was it, Friday,
were
the push
you-
press.
So, Jace, were you like the smuggest CrossFit couple of the week? Were you sort of walking around with big smiles on your faces? And
That's his actual
How-
motivation
how
to get
amazing
to
are we?
be the smug CrossFit couple of the week.
No,
Can I-
it's
can I-
just
can I
the
just drag
other
Jason-
week that I was listening to, like, after we'd done the 8 p.m. class, and then like the lads were kind of saying how one of them, like Rob's lovely wife, went in and bought him a t-shirt, and one of the coaches saying, yeah, I was trying to get her into CrossFit, but and he's like, she loves it, but she kind of thinks it's my thing. I want her to do it, but she's sort of, she's not quite there. And then someone else said, yeah, I think my wife would really enjoy it, but she just doesn't, she's just not ready to kind of come along. And that is when I felt really smug, when I was just didn't say anything, but I was just standing there going, yeah. My wife had already been in today, but no, let's not talk about that.
My wife's
Can I-
already been
can I-
in
can
a
I-
PB twice in 2 days, actually.
Can I bring you down to earth with a slight bang, Jace? That 80
Oh,
kilo push press is my 5 rep.
You can, John. It's fine, because as I've said on the podcast, I'm not strong. I don't consider myself to be a strong athlete.
No. Let's just be careful where this is going, because we've just talked about how your PBs are exceeding mine.
Yeah.
I'm 8
If I'm
kilos
not
heavier
strong,
than
what
you.
is Matt?
And I love
I mean-
love the fact you go. And I was going into the gym to PB my snatch. There's a real definitive. This is going to happen. At the moment, I'm just going in wondering if I'll manage to do something. So
If I'll
it's,
manage
I'm
to
wondering how
leave.
much the pain in my knees is going to keep me awake at night time.
yeah. Will I be able to walk to the shower in the morning? Yeah. So yeah. It's,
I won't mention my back squat. I'll leave that one for another day.
I actually, to give you an insight into what happened to me after that workout yesterday, I slept in this chair right here because my legs, every time I laid down, my legs cramped. So I literally laid down in bed and was like, "Yeah!" and then had to get back up again. I was like, okay, I'm coming downstairs to sleep in the chair. And this, I couldn't even sleep on the sofa because I have to lay or to sleep on the sofa. So in the
scale
office
ain't to
chair
fail.
it was.
Scale ain't
So
to fail.
so maybe in that case you did go too hard. Maybe
I
maybe
absolutely
there.
did. And everyone today while I've been walking around is like, "You all right? have you got something wrong?" I was like, "So I was at the gym last night." They were like, "Are you supposed to get fitter when you go to the gym?" Like, yeah, that's the theory.
So you know what, Sam? To bring this full circle, that is the difference between your training and the open.
Yeah.
There we go.
What? I bury myself in training, I don't in the open.
Shaq's told me that, Jason. You should be able to train 4 times a week with no pain.
Oh, well, if
open's
he's
different.
saying that, can he reassess the program he's putting out at the moment? Because
Jace, you can't even talk about programming. The Wednesday we did 22.2, we set a 5 rep deadlift max.
How old is he?
No, it wasn't Shaq's the program mine. We've bought programming from a games champion who programmed a 5 rep deadlift max on the Wednesday of 22.2. I turned up on Friday going, well, this is going to be light.
Yeah.
My legs don't work, but this is going to be light.
I mean, he must have known, no? He must have known. Made it easy for you.
It was anything but.
But it's just, I do think it's been like as you know, as fun as the open is and all the kind of because also like all the community stuff is fun, but it is also, it kind of takes time away from other things that you could be kind of focusing on with your, like, you know, maybe the time to do your mobility and things like that you're going, oh, I can't do mobility right now because I need to post 17 pictures on my Instagram profile of Judge Dredd calling people out. That's
Thank you for remembering. I'm glad you were an avid viewer.
Yeah, so
I'm glad I missed them.
I actually silenced you for the weeks of the open.
I don't.
Wheels was on mute.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I loved it. What is it? Judge, jury, and executioner. I thought that
Yeah,
was great. Yeah, man, I liked it.
Mate, I want that on a t-shirt.
it was definitely it was a great T-shirt, great team name. I was definitely part of the best team. Shout out to them. We were a close second, but
Close second out of 2 teams. Okay.
no,
not bad.
three.
All right, there you go. Yeah. Well, it's
Jace,
been.
did you get best dressed for your costume?
I don't know. We're still waiting for like all the official stuff. I don't know what's
Oh.
happened. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe
I
it's
think this
because
is the real stress you felt during the Open was coming up with that costume.
man, that was so stupid. Never again. Never again.
Well, no, you don't have to again.
Well, there's next year, isn't there?
Just wear it for everyone.
Well, if I'm not yellow, then I can't wear that. If there's a different
Paint it a
theme,
different color.
Spray paint it, yeah.
spray paint it black. Yeah, it's a good idea. Spray paint it black and tell people it's just a really bad Batman helmet that I've made. It's like, yeah, I'm not very good.
Spray it white and tell them you're Danger Mouse.
Oh,
Oh man, that's a throwback. There we go. That makes
They've
you
remade
tenfold, you know
that recently. They've
Yeah.
remade it. They've remade it.
yeah, and instead of being well, it was David Jason was Danger Mouse, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes,
Now it's the guy that does Pointless. What's his name?
yes.
Ben
Alexander
Shepherd.
Armstrong.
Yes.
Oh,
there you
Alexander
go,
Armstrong.
yeah.
I'm thinking of Tipping Point.
Oh,
Not him.
Ben Shepherd. Ben
Yeah,
Shepherd.
but not
Yeah.
Ben
what,
Shepherd.
what I really love now
He'd
is
be a rubbish Danger Mouse. He would.
all our US listeners being like, "What's going on?" And
What's
yet
going on?
they complain about pounds not being inclusive.
Fine. They just now need to go and Google Danger Mouse, and it'll be a whole
Yeah.
new world.
Man,
Because
see,
he's the
mate, if you're-
greatest. He's the
If you
best.
live in America and you don't know what Danger Mouse is, just go Google it. Watch every single one. David
Yeah.
Jason is a freaking ledge.
Baron Greenback.
Baron Green.
Oh yes, he did.
Penfold.
Right. I mean, I knew this was going to be
Random.
Well, I knew without Tom here, we'd been let off the leash. We were going to go wherever we
Yeah.
wanted. We've mentioned a lot of companies that don't sponsor us. If anyone wants to change that and actually be the company, then we could go, and we are sponsored by these people. Feel free. They probably think there's no point because we clearly just rep anyone without the sponsorship. So that's fine.
Oh, if we had a sponsor, they'd be my sole.
The only person you ever talk
They'd
about.
have all my effort. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that stuff. I'll sell sand to the Eskimos.
No,
Ice
Yeah.
to the Arabs.
All right, yeah.
Jace, are we doing a shout out?
Do you have one you'd like to do?
oh,
And are they have they subscribed to the Patreon and paid me the £3 a month for the shout out level? Don't worry, John, go for it.
No, I just wanted to shout out my box CrossFit Chippenham, who ran a throwdown last Sunday, and it looked like a really well organized competition. I think a lot of people signed up to it from the Open, and I think they had a great time. It was a beautiful day weather-wise, and it looked like the workouts were challenging, but they ran a really good day. Had a professional photographer, professional DJ on site. Sorry, Sam, we're not quite at your level. We can't afford you yet. But everyone had a brilliant day, and I just wanted to give them a big shout out for that. It was the second competition they've ever run, and I think it was brilliant. So
Wonderful. Well, you can
Big-
give
big
them
up
that
to
big
them.
shout out, and now you can go and tell all the members that you've given them an amazing shout out at the end
And
of the
they have
they
to
can
episode.
go listen
They
to the
have to come
podcast.
back and listen to it.
Yeah.
No,
If
you
they
have to tell them
subscribe-
somewhere within the podcast. You shouted them
Yes.
out.
yeah. You don't. Otherwise, fast forward 53 minutes and 63 minutes. Yeah.
All right. Well, 63 minutes. Matt's telling us it's time. It's time to.
I'm
go
not
home.
telling you at all. I could stay at least for another 3 minutes.
All right. Well, that gives me 3 minutes to say. If you're not following the podcast on Instagram, you can at plate.stack.chat. But you can also follow all of us individually. You can follow what Sam is doing at La Roche Original. You can follow John at his newly modified handle that is Jono CrossFit, all one word.
Actually,
Yep.
yes,
Yep,
John.
changed it.
Yes, John.
You guys keep saying this. I just thought I might as well go with it. Run.
Um, I was thinking if I should say you can follow him at Wheels. I was going to go 2,662, but I'll say
His
that
age.
was my position in the Open. That was yeah.
yeah. Follow Wheels at Wheels 2662 and me at Jason CF Media. You can also follow Tom at Chalking Fitness. There's probably a newsletter coming out very soon, and he's been sticking up loads of stats about the Open, so we should mention all of that. And
he's got a series. They've got a series on female affiliate owners at the moment for
They have to
Women's
celebrate
Day.
International Women's Day. Yeah, they've been really good.
Yeah, so there we go. We managed to somehow squeeze in as many plugs for Chalky Fitness as normal. So well done us. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you all next week
Cheers,
for the
guys.
quarterfinals.
Goodbye.
Bye.